everybody. Welcome to Tampa. The weather is beautiful, but isn't it always? We're going to treat Brent, Irv, Jane, Jack, and the Greek to some good old Southern hospitality, but only if they're cheering for the Buccaneers.
NFL Today is sponsored by Ryder, the best truck money can rent or lease. Wang, makers of computer and word processing systems. Wang, making the world more productive. And by Trinitron with a one-gun, one-lens system. And it's from Sony, the one and only. From the CBS Sports Control in Tampa, Florida, here's Brent Musburger.
Welcome to a sea of orange, and who would have believed it? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoffs against the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're down to 8 teams, and Jane and Irv and Jimmy, would you believe only 4 states still represented in the playoffs? Pennsylvania, Florida, Texas, and California. Each of those 4 states with 2 teams. And Jimmy, later today out in San Diego, it's Houston against the Chargers. What about the Oilers' injury situation at this moment?
Brent, they tell me that the Bull Pastorini will not play. Campbell will be undecided until absolutely at game time, when he will practice to see if he can make it. Burrows is playing at 90%, and Carpenter is out too. In other words, Houston's in rough shape.
So Gifford Nielsen will be starting at quarterback for Houston. Jane, do you remember the playoffs a year ago?
Oh, boy, do I. My very first playoffs with CBS, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Dallas, Minnesota, LA. I can't forget any of that.
Everyone thought the games would be close. But as it turned out, only one winner didn't score more than 30 points. Let's go back and show you. It was at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, and it was going to be the tough Steelers against the defensive-minded Denver Broncos. And what a day for number 32. Franco Harris of the Steelers rushed for a pair of first-half touchdowns, and Pittsburgh built a slim 19-10 lead after the first 30 minutes of play. This was to set the tone throughout the playoffs. Number 32 on the ground and number 88 and 82 in the air. This tight game was busted wide open when that number 88, a ballet wide receiver by the name of Lynn Swann, caught one of 2 Terry Bradshaw touchdown passes in the final quarter. And here he comes, going to the air and making it look routine. 105 yards rushing by Franco, touchdown catches by Lynn and number 82 John Stallworth. All added up to a lopsided 33-10 victory as Pittsburgh advanced to its 4th AFC Championship game in 5 years. Then the next day, it was the rookie sensation who will not play today, Earl Campbell. He rushed for 118 yards as Houston destroyed the New England Patriots in Foxborough. It was to be Chuck Fairbanks' last day as coach of the Patriots. And Dan Pastorini, who will be missing later this afternoon, threw 3 touchdown passes against New England, 2 of which went to his underrated tight end, Mike Barber, number 86. And the Oilers rolled to a 31-14 triumph over New England. Pittsburgh and Houston emerged. Then it was the wily Fran Tarkenton in the NFC. His last game with Minnesota, he hit Ahmad Rashad, deadlocked the score against the Los Angeles Rams at 10. But a 100-yard day by number 32, Cullen Bryant, highlighted a 24-point Rams second half, and L.A. broke a 4-game losing streak in postseason play against the BUCS, winning easily 34-10. Now, the only playoff game that wasn't a blowout was Atlanta-Dallas in Dallas. Atlanta held a 20-13 halftime lead as Robert Pennywell put Roger Staubach out of the game with seconds remaining in the first half. But fortunately for Tom Landry and the Cowboys, Danny White can step in and replace Roger. He guided the Cowboys to a come-from-behind 27-20 victory over the upstart Falcons. And Dallas's victory marked the 9th time that Tom Landry's Cowboys had advanced to the NFC Championship game. And so now it is Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. Tampa Bay coached by John McKay. 6 of his USC Trojans are on this team. Dick Vermeil, formerly at UCLA, 4 of his Bruins. What about the home field advantage? We ask Vermeil first.
Well, I think it's always an advantage for the home team to play at home, but I have never coached that it's a disadvantage for my team to play on the road, because I don't want to give them a excuse for losing. We have to find more reasons for winning, and we try to turn the fact that we're playing on the road in our favor. We try to do that, and we've won more games on the road this year than we have at home.
If it's hot like it is today, teams have come in here and got awfully tired in the second half. I would say under Dick Vermeil, they work so long, practice sessions and such, they're probably in great shape, but we'd much rather be playing here than playing in Philadelphia.
I think the biggest area of improvement is their overall offensive line play and their offensive execution of everything they're doing. They do things much better. They have better football players, and Eckwood has made a real contribution. The receivers are good. The tight end, to me, is as good as any tight end in football.
Well, their biggest areas of improvement for Philadelphia, without question, are all phases of football. They're a much better running team since they've got Montgomery. With Jaworski and Carmichael, they got a great passing attack. They've got a very veteran offensive line that helps Carmichael and Jaworski. Their kicking game with this youngster with a bare foot gives them a great kicking game. So in everything that you grade a team on, in that area, they're very good.
Well, I see it as a low-scoring football game. We're both good defensive football teams, so they have statistically been better than us defensively. We have scored 60, I think, 3 more points than they have, but our offensive stats are identical. 315.3 yards and 314.7 yards per game. They're identical. I see it as a low-scoring game, unless one team or the other turns it over in bad field position. If it's a high-scoring game, then the Eagles are in trouble. And John probably feels the same way, really, because we're not a high-scoring football team.
Well, as I said before, I predicted low-scoring, but I'll take a high-scoring game. If it was 50-51 and we got to 51, I'd take it. Our defensive coaches would be very upset, but I'd be very happy.
And conditioning will be a factor. It is now 70 degrees here in Tampa, so the fourth quarter could be very grueling for both these clubs.
You know, Brent, I came in on Thursday into Tampa Bay, and all I heard about is, why is Eric wearing a Philadelphia Eagles cap? And they insisted that you wear this one today, Eric.
Wait a minute.
They'll never let you back in Philadelphia.
Everybody in Philadelphia realize I'm only doing this because I'm a good sport. I want you to know that.
And the NFL today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack. If you're going to move your family, you can save a lot of money by renting a truck. Moving yourself, and you might as well rent a real truck. A Ryder. Ryder isn't famous for renting cars, beep, beep, little trailers. Ryder's famous for trucks. Road drivers will tell you that.
Okay, King of the Road. Just hold the lamp.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack.
Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
Information. Business is besieged by it. All kinds of equipment have been required to manage it. Until now. Now, with Wang's new integrated information system, one person very simply can perform data processing, word processing, high-speed image printing, and worldwide communication. If Wang can create all this today, who knows what the future holds? Wang, making the world more productive.
Ring in the holidays. Ring out the year. sparkling with Andre. Love and good cheer. Take Andre home for the holidays. Andre for the holidays.
What's a celebration without Andre Champagne to lend sparkle and elegance to your good times? Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre.
For the holidays and all year long.
Pleasure to be in Tampa this afternoon. Now, calling the action for you will be Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram. And, Kurt, what about the experience factor now in this game?
Well, you know, Brent, you get around the country and everybody says, hey, the same old clubs in the playoffs. It's different this year. San Diego and Philly are in the final round of 8 for the first time in a long time, and a new kid on the block, Tampa Bay. Now, Hank Stram has taken a team into the playoffs for the first time, and then he's taken veteran teams in who've been there before. How important is experience in the playoffs as a coach?
Well, first of all, Kurt, I think experience is a very important factor, but I think a lot depends on the background of the coaches and the players involved. Both of these coaches have been involved in a lot of big games, specifically the Rose Bowl. So I think they're going to do a good job of selling their squads and the idea that it isn't just important to get to the playoffs. The important thing is to win the playoffs. And I think that's what the approach is going to be on the part of both coaches here in this game this afternoon.
All right, Henry, and that's the experience factor, Brent.
Kurt, thank you very much. Now, one of the players that Hank will be isolating on is number 63, Leroy Selman of Tampa Bay.
Very much, Brent. As a matter of fact, when most teams meet Tampa Bay, the number one problem that they think about is how to handle Leroy Selman. He is definitely the focal point of the Tampa Bay defense. So I talked to him to find out exactly what he has in mind for this game.
In only their 4th year of existence, Tampa Bay has entered the rarefied atmosphere of the NFL playoffs. They've done it due mainly to that true source of orange pride, their number 1 ranked defense. The BUCS, first in the NFL against both the pass and the run, are led by number 63, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Leroy Selman. Selman, the Buccaneers' first draft choice ever, is often double and even triple teamed, but still gets to the ball. But as awesome as the super quick defensive end is on the field, he is surprisingly placid off it.
I like to leave football out on the football field. I like to play aggressive football and be tough out there. But after the game is over, I like to just kind of go back and relax and be a regular person and not walk around on the streets beating up people.
Are you really shy?
Yeah, I think I am. People have told me that I have a shy personality, and I guess that kind of comes from home, being raised on a farm and everything. You never was around a lot of people all the time, and but I'm kind of coming out of it a little bit.
Does it help you having a brother playing on the same team?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I played with Dewey ever since I've been playing football. We started back in the 8th grade, and coming out of college, it was said that we were never going to play together again, that we would be drafted by 2 different football teams. Being drafted number 1 was great, but having my brother drafted on the same team was the highlight of that whole day.
Leroy, I have seen some extraordinary footage of you being double and triple teamed and still making the tackle. Are you aware of that when it's happening?
That's sort of an instinctive thing. You don't really know what you're doing. You're basically out there trying to do your job, and number 1 during a passing situation is to get to the quarterback, no matter who's there. And a lot of times you don't realize that you have rushed against 2 people or maybe 3 people, and when you do look at the film, you say, I didn't know they were doing that to me.
Leroy, what difference has winning made to you personally?
Well, you feel a lot more gratified, I guess, because when you win, you are succeeding, and the hard work that you put out on the football field is paying off for you, and the whole atmosphere is different. It's a lot more loose, a lot more relaxed, and you have a lot more fun.
What about when you're not on the field, when you're about town? Does it make a difference?
Well, you can go into some nice restaurants. You know, when you're losing, I always went to McDonald's through the drive-in windows. But after you win, you know, people, you can go out and, you know, people like to talk about football, and it's fun to talk about that. You can talk about winning instead of talking about losing, and you know, that makes all the difference in the world.
This week, Coach McKay predicted that in a low-scoring game, Tampa Bay would win. Does that put a lot of pressure on you as a member of the defense?
Right. We don't mind having the pressure on us. We want to keep it low scoring. We always figure we go into each game with the approach that we want to make it a shutout and not let the team score it all. And if we can do that, we know we're going to end up with a tie.
With a tie.
There'll be no tie. We'll play all night to break that. Down in the pits, number 75, Stan Walters, draws Big Leroy today, and that'll be one of the duels to watch. Irv is really hurting wearing this Tampa Bay cap. We'll come back and let him talk about his Philadelphia Eagles as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
And this is where we keep the Sony.
This is my wife. These are my kids. This is my Sony.
The difference between you and me, Perkins, is that you own a television and I own a Sony.
There's one television people are proud enough of to brag about. The only television with the patented one-gun, one-lens system that won an Emmy. There's only one Trinitron, and it's from Sony, the one and only.
I think Henry's getting serious. Last night I gave you Sony.
Stand by. Roll Fran Talkington, Johnson's baby shampoo.
You know, when I wore a football suit, I had to shampoo every day, so I used Johnson's. Now that I'm wearing these, I still use Johnson's every day. Doesn't make sense to use anything harsh. Johnson's cleans gently. Everybody can tell you about no more tears, but I can tell you it won't dry out my hair. Leaves it looking thick and healthy. Get Johnson's baby shampoo from Johnson & Johnson. It's gentle enough to use every day.
Getting ready, make it shine, looking pretty. There's a lot to do. You're waiting for your dreams to come true. Come on, come on, come on and have a Pepsi day. Come on, come on, come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on and have a Pepsi day. You're the Pepsi generation. Pepsi day.
Let her roll, Bob. During the last few years, our crews have been using something new to fix the streets in Oklahoma City. It's a fabric underliner from Phillips called Petromat that helps streets last longer. Where it's been put down here in the city, no repairs have been needed. Not one. Not in 4 years. That saves the city tax dollars. And I'm glad, because part of that tax money is mine.
Phillips Petroleum. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
In Tampa, about 12 minutes from kickoff. And you know, when Dick Vermeil took over the Eagles 4 years ago, Irv, he really did not have a lot of draft choices. He had to go out and pick up some veterans.
Now, he's very fortunate, Brett, because he's looking for his type player. And fortunately, this week, I talked to 3 of the people who are an integral part of the Eagles' success story, some old veterans who know what it means to win. For 3 Eagle veterans, Philadelphia's 1979 success has been a welcome turn of events. Defensive end Claude Humphrey, cornerback Bobby Howard, and offensive guard Woody Peoples each shared a past filled with good times and bad. Number 69, Woody Peoples, had an outstanding career while helping to make John Brodie the NFL's most protected passer during the late 60s and early 70s. Bobby Howard had played for both the New England Patriots and the San Diego Chargers, collecting his share of interceptions and glory. For 11 years, Claude Humphrey was an all-pro defensive end and one of football's premier pass rushers. All 3, however, were thought to be at the end of their productive years. But in Philadelphia, each has written a positive chapter in the final pages of their NFL careers.
All the years that I spent in Atlanta, they were great years for me personally as an individual, but I still didn't realize a chance to play in the playoffs and get that playoff feeling. It's something about the playoffs that is a little different from playing in the Pro Bowl or something like that. It's a little different because there are only a few teams that'll get in the playoffs.
The Eagles hold a special place in my heart in that before I came here, I thought I was at the end of my career, and I got a chance to play with the Eagles, and it's just like being reborn again.
There's been no question that the contributions of these veterans has been significant on the field. But when the Eagles reached the playoffs, their roles took on some added responsibilities.
I've been to a few playoff games before, and I think it's my job, and I think all the older guys, to try to set the tempo a little bit, In big pressure games like a playoff game, they're going to be, the motion is going to be, there's going to be ebb and flow. And the team that reacts to the sudden change is going to be the team that wins, And I think somebody kind of got to, stand up and show that, it's just another play like it's just another football game.
For Claude Humphrey, who had come out of retirement, The 1979 season has offered a second chance at something he has always wanted but never had. What would you say were the most exciting things you've experienced since coming to Philadelphia?
Winning. That's the only thing. That's the only difference between Philadelphia and Atlanta is winning the game. It's all right to get paid. I mean, getting paid is important, but there's something good about winning that makes you feel better when you win. And the most important thing right now is just winning.
This year is probably the high point in my career. I've been to the Pro Bowl a couple of times. When I was the 49ers, we were in the playoffs a few years. But I think this team, being here on this team at this particular time, is the high point in my career.
I think we got a real good chance of going all the way. The team, some of the tough teams like Dallas, Dallas is not the same team that it was maybe last year or the year before. Los Angeles has certainly been hurt this year. So I think over here in the NFC, we got a real good chance, the Eagles, of going all the way to the Super Bowl.
May the best team win.
This is a new sight for us, Tampa, a beautiful area. Jack Whitaker is here, and he has some reflections on this city by the bay. Jack?
Thank you very much, Brent. There's a temptation here today to dwell on the background of this game and forget the game itself, but I think it's much too early for that. By the time we get to the Super Bowl, we'll submerge that one so much to make it almost invisible. But not today. The game is the thing. But before Philadelphia and Tampa begin hostilities, I'd like a word about the two coaches. They have brought their clubs to this game by different roads. One by rebuilding, the other, if you will, by creating. Dick Vermeil has taken an old and established franchise that was slipping quietly into ruin, and in a few short years had built it into one of the most respected outfits in the whole league. John McKay, on the other hand, has taken a brand new franchise, and in 4 years has a team, by his own admission, that when it plays up to its potential can beat any team in the league. Both these men's accomplishments should be textbooks for anybody who wants to take their team into the playoffs. Their contrast between these two coaches, one is very young, hyperkinetic, very intense, with more than a vestige of Vince Lombardi about him. John McKay is 13 years older, white-haired, smart, witty, probably the most realistic coach in the entire NFL. John McKay is the only professional coach ever to survive a 26-game losing streak. The only coach to go from nothing in 4 years to a playoff. And in the process, the Tampa Bay Bucks have solidified the towns that fringe on the edge of Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico. And these communities now share something else than just a drive to the airport. Still in all, John McKay has his critics here in this sunshine place. Many people think he should have drafted Earl Campbell and Tony Dorsett and other things. But John keeps going on his way. An elegant Groucho Marx, twirling his Tampa-made cigar and firing one-liners, many of them over the heads of his audience. And he and Dick Vermeil are proving that the difference between a successful college coach and a professional coach is not much. Both must be great recruiters. Today is a big day for Tampa and a big day for Philadelphia. But neither team would be here without Dick Vermeil and John McKay.
The system, TCR, Total Control Racing, slotless racing with the Jam car. Now, there are 48 different TCR cars to choose from. Everything from customized vans to sleek Trans Ams and tough pickups. Every one a winner. So whatever kind of racing you're into, TCR cars set the pace. Add one to your system now. These are the cars. TCR, Total Control Racing from Ideal.
Because of a certain ability I possess, I've been asked to tell you all the useful shopping information you can find in the Bell System Yellow Pages. Names, addresses, phone numbers, maps, directions, credit cards, items for sale, charge accounts, deferred payment plans, brand names, regular valet parking, custom work, machine work, quantity discounts, colors, days and hours of business, insurance, bonding, deliveries, endorsements, cash and carry, 24-hour service, estimates, illustrations, years in business, same day.
When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System Yellow Pages.
Thank you.
Steak and Ale welcomes you back to the Old Country Inn.
Come sup with us at Steak and Ale, where hearty dining abounds.
This takes me back to the old days, a place to relax and enjoy a good hearty meal. Like this Kensington Club.
The Kensington Club is a sirloin steak, marinated to taste. Lovingly grilled for just the right time. It even compares with our ribs in their prime.
Come join us. It'll be like old times.
Come sup with us at Steak and Ale.
Jimmy the Greek is sponsored by Dutch Masters Cigars. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
The Philadelphia Eagles, who come in with the best road record in the National Football League, 6-2, are about to be introduced here in Tampa. And I must tell you, folks, that the Greek is on a hot streak. He convinced me last night that North Carolina could do it to Michigan. Can you convince me that Tampa Bay can keep this close?
It can be close. I didn't say who was going to win as yet, but Tampa's defensive secondary can keep it close. Williams, of course, does not have the experience that Jaworski has, but he will throw long to Hagan, and they could score that way. If you remember last week, the Bear receivers were in back of Philadelphia, so watch that.
That check looks like about the size of a field goal. Would that be
that's about it
for you?
But the special teams for Philadelphia are tops, and Tampa special teams are very poor this year. That's where the big edge is, Brent.
But Williams has been so poor the last month. How's the Tampa Bay offense going to keep the defense on the sideline and give them some rest in the second half?
By controlling the football, running with it. That's what they're going to try to do. That doesn't mean that they will do it.
Now, you know that Abe Gibron's going to try to intimidate Harold Carmichael. That he will double up underneath, which Chicago didn't do. And you know that Vermeil's going to go over to Smith. He's going to throw screens to Montgomery. You know that, Greek. He's coming with everything.
That's true. But somebody will cough it up. It won't be Philadelphia, will it?
Well, I got to say, one player I like on the Buccaneers, Ricky Bell. And we'll be right back as the NFL Today continues in just a moment.
The Dutch Masters buyers are in France for the international auction of rare African Cameroon tobacco. There are two secrets they must keep to win some of the best leaf for Dutch Masters. The exact leaf they want and the price they'll pay.
It's a nice color.
When their bid is opened by the French auctioneers, they'll learn if they've won some of the best.
Acheteur Dutch Masters.
Taste the taste the world competes for in a Dutch Masters Cameroon whiff. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jane, we've got just a few moments now before kickoff. Who do you like in this game?
Well, you know, everybody said that the defense is what got Tampa Bay here, but the offense is vastly improved. In 77, there were 48 quarterback sacks, in 78, 60, and this year only 12.
I don't have to ask you, Irv. We'll see at halftime. For Jane and Irv and Jimmy the Greek, I'm Brent Musburger. Sit back now and enjoy Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram as the NFL Today continues on CBS.
Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station. He may not be coming off as well as he'd like to in his race for the White House, but on a television screen, John Connolly comes off bigger than life. He'll be on your screen on 60 Minutes tomorrow on CBS.
Like our Tampa Bay Bucks, Datsun has a winning combination for the 80s. I'm Mark Champion. Dave Lewis has been driving the new Datsun King Cab. And Dave, how about the room?
Just think, Mark, I could stuff 4 running backs in here.
Plenty of room and plenty of luxury. Fully reclining bucket seats, room for 2 jump seats. And Datsun has a new little Hustler, our lowest priced, high mileage pickup. Buy America's most valuable cars now at your Gulf Coast Datsun dealer.
Seven copiers not only make great copies, they also make great copy.
Financial World. Its Series 700 models are proven winners. Forbes. Savin 750 copier was an overnight success. Sales and marketing management. Savin in 1 year raced from a standing start to first place in installing machines.
In fact, last year Savin outplaced Xerox and IBM combined. We wouldn't be winning over big business unless we offered big advantages.
Accent Business Products Lakeland, Zero Graphics Pinellas, American Office Equipment Tampa.
For the questions you'd like to ask, plus all the news, weather, and sports, trust Pulse 13 to cover your interests. Every night at 6. WTVT, Tampa, St. Petersburg.
From Tampa, Florida, an NFC playoff game. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hi, everybody. Kurt Gowdy with Hank Stram. The Eagles and the Buccaneers finished the season in different momentum. The Eagles, playing their best ball, have now won 6 of their last 7. Tampa Bay just clinging on, beating Kansas City 3-0 in a driving rain to win their division and earn the right to be the host team here today. What about a single game judgment? One day, one game of the Eagles in Tampa Bay. First of all, Hank, they almost look alike.
Well, you know, it's really like playing an inter-squad game or seeing an inter-squad game here this afternoon because both teams really have the same personality, both offensively and defensively. They both employ the 3-4 defense, and they both use the I formation a great deal on offense, plus the usual formation that most people see in professional football, but they're very, very much alike, and both of them like to run the football a great deal, and that's what we'll see a lot of, especially, I think, early in the game.
Doug Williams is the youngest quarterback, could be, if they win today, to ever take a club to a championship game. How will this game affect him?
Well, that's going to be interesting to see. I think that there's no question about the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles have the advantage at the quarterback position because of the experience factor. It has to be a factor, and it is, but we'll have to wait and see what Doug Williams does here this afternoon in this pressure situation.
All right, Hank, and right now, let's go down on the field. We're getting ready for the coin toss. Tampa Bay has the near bench, and across the field will be the Philadelphia Eagles. And now out they come, the captains. They'll be meeting with all the officials. The referee today will be Fred Silva, the umpire Ralph Moorcroft, the head linesman Burl Toller, the line judge Jack Fetty, the back judge Bill Tompkins. Let's listen.
Put your back over here, please. You put your back over there, Philadelphia. We're going to turn you. We're going to go live now.
Captains, the coin for today's coin toss is here. Heads, tails. This is heads, tails. Who'll call it on the visitor? In the air, please. Heads. Heads is called. Tails is thrown. You win the toss.
Tampa Bay won the toss. They want the ball. The wind is no factor. It's almost a perfect day for football. Temperature in the low 70s, no breeze, and as they go out there, Hank, kicking off, receiving. What about it?
Well, you know, one thing about winning a toss, I think sometimes going into a game like this one, you hope maybe that you would lose the toss, very honestly, so that you wouldn't have to play offense on the very first series, because if something bad happens to you, you know, you shrink the size of the field for the opposition, and they have an opportunity to get points early in the football game. However, if you win the toss, you almost have to take the ball because, you know, if you don't, your team feels, well, you don't have a lot of confidence in the fact that we can move the ball offensively. But down deep, I think, in this kind of a game, you'd rather play defense early than offense.
Tony Franklin will kick off. Very strong leg. He can drive it deep. Isaac Higgins, the fastest player on the Tampa Bay squad's at the goal line. Going to be interesting to see Doug Williams. We were talking to him, the young quarterback at Tampa Bay. I asked him if he'd be nervous, and he said only on the first snap. I hope I don't fumble that one.
Well, I think the other thing that's good for Doug Williams is the fact that John McKay calls the plays from the sideline. That takes a lot of pressure off of the young quarterback and makes him a mechanic instead of have to worry about all the things that are involved in playing the quarterback position.
The barefooted kicker, Tony Franklin. And here we go. The playoff game is underway. He drives it to Higgins, a yard deep. Higgins is coming out to the 5, to the 10, 15, and is down on the 20. The Eagles are the best special team club in the NFL. They have contained their opponents 18 yards on kickoff return, and they've just held Tampa Bay within their own 20. Here's the offensive line now. for Tampa Bay. It'll be Dave Revis at left tackle, Greg Horton at left guard, Steve Wilson at center, Greg Roberts, the rookie, at right guard, Darrell Carlton starting in place of the injured Charlie Hanna at right tackle. 15 years experience in that front line against 45 to the Eagles. You saw the wide receivers, Mucker, Higgins, Giles, Eckwood is starting, Ricky Bell the running back, Doug Williams the quarterback.
It's interesting to see that Tampa Bay will start right off with a double tight end offense.
On the first play, they give it off up to the 24-yard line. Jerry Eckwood gets the call. He started the season in blazing fashion, cracked bone in his wrist. Here's the Eagles' front three. The veteran Humphrey at left end, Charlie Johnson is the nose tackle, and Carlston Harrison, one of the more underrated players of the league, at right end. Great linebackers, Bunning, Robinson, Frank LeMaster, Reggie Wilkins. They're swift and they're hitters. Howard and Edwards on the corners, Randy Logan and John Shiver the safety men. 2nd and 6, Tampa Bay on their 24. Play, it's going to be hemmed in, and it's stopped in at 26. Ricky Bell down by Claude Humphrey, the veteran left end. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4 for Tampa Bay on their own 26. Both teams, we thought, would probably try to establish running games early.
Yes, and the fact that the Tampa Bay team came right up and lined up in the double tight end offense is a strong indication that they feel they're going to run. And the reason they use a double tight end offense, Kurt, is really to get ahead on everybody 7 on 7 and just play football and try to blow them off the football.
3rd and 3. Williams on a rollout, looking, throws, wide open. It's complete for the tight end, Jimmy Giles, for a first down. Giles, who led this team in pass receiving this year, is out of bounds, and Tampa Bay is moving.
Williams goes back into the pocket and then rolls to his left, stops quickly and finds Giles, Jimmy Giles, their fine tight end, wide open on the play. He's finally tackled there by Jerry Robinson, but it's a nice gain and a well-executed play by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Both tight ends, Trefley of the Eagles, Giles of Tampa Bay, are active and dangerous.
Tampa Bay, 99% of the time when they're in the I formation, will give the ball to the tailback. Let's see if this holds true. There he is.
To the tailback. Ricky Bell, 50 into Eagle territory, and stopped at the Eagle 47 by Frank LeMaster, the right inside linebacker. That's the old pitch or toss play that John McCain made so famous at the University of Southern California.
Well, that's really student body right, student body left. That was student body right, with everybody pulling on the play, trying to get to the outside from the I formation. And the nice thing about the I formation is the fact that the tailback is back there 7 yards deep, at least 7, and he has plenty of room to read the blocks of the people who are pulling and then taking advantage of the seam and taking advantage of what happened on that last play to making a nice gain on the play.
Second down, 1. Tampa Bay on the Eagle 46. Straight ahead, Ricky Bell. Smothered on the 45 of the Eagles by the nose tackle, Charlie Johnson, who is tall. He's 6'4", but he looks like a mole in there. He really gets down low and burrows under the way a good nose tackle should. Charlie Johnson, very strong, 3rd-year player. He had knee surgery in 77 and came back. Here's the measurement for the first down. No score if you just joined us. 12:25 to play in the first period, and they appear to be an inch short. Tampa Bay on the Eagle, 45-yard line, 3rd down, inch or 2 to go. They've been crisp so far, Hank, Tampa Bay. They're off the ball well, good ball handling.
Yeah, the important thing always, of course, has to begin with the offense and defensive lines. Right now, the offensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is dominating the line of scrimmage, and that's why they've done such a good job of moving the ball so far.
Now they're squeezing in, the Eagles. 5-6-man front up there. The hand of Williams on the sneak, has it. Bud Williams, a big, strong quarterback, 6'4", 215 pounds. Gives Tampa Bay a first down on the Eagle 44. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the National Football League is prohibited. Tampa Bay's moved from their own 20 to the Eagle 44. First down. On the cutback to the 40. Ricky Bell. We have a flag dropped, our first penalty flag. Frank LeMaster made the hit on Ricky Bell.
Kurt, they're doing a good job, Tampa Bay is, of going away from the rotated defense. They have a flanker set to the left, and it looks like there's a holding penalty against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're setting a flanker to the left and then running back away from that flanker because of the double coverage on that side. They're running away from the traffic, and they're doing a good job of moving the football, although this time there's a penalty on the play. Let's listen to the call.
Number 70, holding.
Darrell Carlton, the right tackle, nailed for holding. Today's game is the first time Tampa Bay has been on coast-to-coast television in their 4-year history. Games also be carried by CBS Radio and French-Canadian Radio throughout Canada. Tampa Bay on their 46th first down. No score early in the first period. They have a one-back offense. Williams fires a pass, and he completes it inside the 40 to Jimmy Giles again. Giles is quite a story. He didn't play football until his junior year at Elkhorn State. He was a baseball player. He had a year in the Dodger organization.
Watch, it's a rollout to the right. Giles is split to the outside. Normally he's a tight end, but this time he's a flanker. Obradovich played tight end that time. Rolls to the right, throws the ball right at the numbers. Giles makes a fine catch, and Giles really is more like a loose tackle than he is a tight end, in that he's 6'3", 240, and runs the 40 in 4.6.
All right, they're coming up now. Second and 4. One back offense. They give it off in the draw. Bell breaks it. Comes over to 35. Stumbles forward to the 31. Carlson Harrison nailed him there. Harrison of Maryland State brought him down. And Tampa Bay has another first down on a beautiful drive here in the opening of this game. Ricky Bell had 5 100-yard games this year, all in this stadium. Dick Vermeil, a very emotional coach, intense. John McKay said he's too old to jump up and down. Besides, he has a bad left knee.
Let's see if they give it to the tailback again from the I formation. If they run the football, this is what they like to do. Now they give it to the fullback here.
Ricky Bell crossing the 30. Frank LeMaster again in on the tackle. Quite a story with me in the booth is the all-pro middle linebacker Bill Berge, spotting Philadelphia, went down with a knee injury. Terry Tatolo took his place, and then the rookie Jerry Robinson moved in, and Robinson has started the last 5 games and has been all over the field, sideline to sideline, which is going to present an interesting situation next year because Berge will be back, and where's Robinson going to be? Wilson will be there somewhere. Second down, 5 to go. Tampa Bay on the Eagle 26. Jerry Eckwood forward to the 21. Frank LeMaster again hit him, and are getting holes open there between tackle and tackle.
Yes, they're doing a good job of moving him off the football, Kurt, and from the I formation, their tendencies are still very much the same as they have been all year long. They've run from the I formation on 4 occasions so far. The tailback has run at 3 and the fullback once. And so it's a verification of the fact that going into the game that the tailback would carry the ball about 99% of the time from the I formation.
Third down and a foot to go for Tampa Bay on the Eagle 21. They'll run it out of the I unless they shift. That's with the tailback. And he is stopped. He is stopped short of the 20. John Bunning, the outside left linebacker, pursuing laterally, pulled him down. He's had some help from Humphrey, who stripped the blocker out of the way, allowing Bunning to get to him. And now let's see what they're going to do. They signal the first down. Tampa Bay on the Philadelphia 21-yard line. Put it on the 20. 20 and a half, it always goes to the next yard line, officially at NFL statistics. First down, Tampa Bay on the Philadelphia 20. This drive started on the Tampa Bay 20. So it's a 60-yard drive. Philadelphia has not touched the ball yet in this game. We have 8:10 to go in the first period. No score. That's Ricky Bell. Bell to the 20, 15. And 3 men have to barge him out of bounds. Ricky Bell running hard. Came into his own this year. He missed the last 5 games of last year.
Here we see the pitch from the I formation to the tailback again, Ricky Bell. The left guard, Craig Horton, pulling on the play. Dave Revis, the left tackle, doing a good job, and they succeed in making 7 yards on the play. A nice-looking play again from the I formation, and that's really their favorite play.
Ricky Bell was the first player taken in the 1977 draft. Criticism, they should have taken Dorsett. Bell does not fumble. 8 minutes. Very frequently does he fumble. One back offense. Second down. Good protection. The cross wide open. He missed it. Mucker crossing over. Larry Mucker was open. The ball a little high and out in front of him, but he was there. They had it and couldn't hold on to it.
It was a slant pass. That's all it was. And this is something that Doug Williams throws extremely well. Sets up nicely. Throws the ball into the area. It should have been caught. It was just a drop pass. It was just that simple.
Third down. 3 to go. That's the first pass that Williams has missed. He's not a high percentage passer, completing only 40% this year, but he's a big play passer. And he's got to hit the bar.
And he's got a great arm.
Third down 3. The 13-yard line of the Eagles. Maybe a 10.5 goes Ricky Bell. It was gapped outside for him. He couldn't do it. He had to turn it in. And it looks like he's short, which will bring up the first crucial decision of this playoff game. It looks to be short. They're going to bring the sticks on. Wilbert Montgomery and Ricky Bell finished 3rd and 4th in the conference in rushing. Montgomery had 1,500 yards. Bell had a little over 1,200.
The rule of thumb normally, Kurt, in a situation like this is with a yard or more, you're going to kick the field goal. If it's less than a yard, in all probability, you would go for it. I personally would go for it in this situation. Just inches to go for the first down.
Manny Sistrunk comes on and getting some big boys in there. Dennis Harrison for the Eagles. And Ken Clark, the goal line defense is in there. 4th down and inches to go. Johnny Davis in the Tampa Bay backfield, a good short yardage man. Williams over, he's over the 10. Doug Williams again has picked up a big first down on a quarterback sneak. And they'll be happy about that in Cheneyville, Louisiana, his little hometown. This drive is almost a coach's dream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 plays they've used on this drive. Greatest defense in the world. First down. Goal to go. Just inside the Eagle 10. That's Ricky Bell, and the Eagles stop him on the 8-yard line. Getting to him is John Bunning. The outside linebacker coming over was Carl Hairston and then Claude Humphrey. Second down, 8 to go.
That time Philadelphia did a good job of adjusting on the play and the tendency of what they've been doing so far. They've been rotating to the strong side of the field or to the flanker. That time the cornerback Bobby Howard away from the flanker came up close to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that pitch play which they've been using so much, and did a good job of stopping the action from the I formation.
They have only one wide receiver out. They have 2 tight ends, Obradovic and Giles. Second down 8. They have a slide hole and then powering inside the 5 to the 4. Ricky Bell, who's a real power running back today.
You know, when he runs, you have to be impressed with the way he runs as far as balance is concerned. He has good vision, knows where he's going all the time, does not duck his head and run into a pile and hope for the best. He keeps his head up and his eyes open and gets the very most that he possibly can on every play that he runs.
Now it's third down. to go. They're on the 4-yard line. No score. 5:34 to go, and Tampa Bay's had the ball all the way. Here he goes. He's in there. Ricky Bell scores, and what an 80-yard drive by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, using up the clock, keeping the ball, and only one mistake, a holding penalty, and they quickly wipe that out.
Watch it. Here comes Ricky Bell. Number 61, Greg Roberts, is pulling on the play and does a good job of getting in the way of the defensive people of the Philadelphia Eagles. Ricky Bell makes an outside move and goes in, standing up for the touchdown. Tampa Bay goes ahead, 6-0.
Blanchard, the punter, will hold. O'Donohue, the tallest field goal kicker in the league, 6'6", will boot it. It's up, and it is good. 80-yard drive, 18 plays. The way they wrote it. 5:26 to go in the first period. And the young Tampa Bay Buccaneers spring out into the lead, 7-0.
For those parents who realize that $500 isn't too much to spend to expand their child's world, Radio Shack has the perfect gift.
The TRS-80 computer, the most significant investment a parent can make. Programs for your child's education or your business, finance, and home use. Let your children discover tomorrow's technology today. The TRS-80, the biggest name in little computers. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Better ideas keep on coming. The better ideas from Ford.
Your Ford deal is celebrating a super season. A super season with better ideas like Mustang, America's best-selling sports car. With Fairmont, one of America's favorite cars, the right idea for today. With America's newest and best-selling pickups. And the contemporary new size Thunderbird. It's a great time to visit your Ford dealer right now during super season.
Better ideas from Ford.
Whoever gets this kickoff, Hank's going to turn around and say to his teammates, gentlemen, this is the football. This is what it looks like. They haven't had it.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've had their hands on it.
Nearly 10 minutes gone, and they haven't seen it. Here's the kick coming to Wally Henry. Dangerous threat. Up to the 5, to the 10, 15, 20, breaks it through. 25, 30, an excellent run by Wally Henry. He played for Vermeil at UCLA. And so we'll see the Eagles now go to work in offense for the first time in the game. The tackle was by Billy Cesar. The Eagles will have all-pro Stan Walters at left tackle, Wade Key at left guard, Guy Morris at center, veteran Woody Peoples at right guard, Jerry Sizemore at right tackle, and Keith Krefley is the tight end. Carmichael, Charlie Smith the wide men, Jaworski the quarterback, Montgomery and Leroy Harris the running back. Eagles ball on their 30 with a first down. Jaworski had a good game last week against the Bears. 3 touchdown passes. They move around a lot like Dallas, changing formation before the snap. They're going against the Triple Crown defensive club in the league. Fewest points allowed, fewest yards allowed, and the least yards per play in the league. Those are outstanding defensive credentials.
Yeah, in conjunction with that, Kurt, the important thing is, you know, the defensive line is made up of Wally Chambers, Randy Crowder, and Leroy Selman, all of whom do a fantastic job. And, of course, there you see the linebackers.
They're good. White, Washington, Cotton, and Brown in the secondary. Second down, 7. Eagles on their 33. 7-0, Tampa Bay. 4:40 remaining in the first period. Fakes, throws a short one out, completes it to Leroy Harris, and he's ganged up at the 36-yard line by Cecil Johnson. The free-spirited, there's the Buccaneer, the free-spirited right linebacker. And we have a flag down. That was a fake to Montgomery.
Yes, that was a play-action pass, and then they threw the ball into the flat area. But Cecil Johnson really did a great job. Let's listen for the call.
It's a personal foul against Tampa Bay. Could be on David Lewis. We'll see, though. This is the second penalty of the game. They're going to bring the ball up to the 50-yard line. 15-yarder. here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, first down.
No guilty party named. First down. Eagles on the 50-yard line. Tampa Bay leading 7-0. A little over 4 minutes remaining in the first period. Harris and Montgomery in the eye. Montgomery deep. It's off to Harris. Harris surges over the 50 to the 47 of Tampa Bay. Richard Wood, the Batman, the leading tackler this year for Tampa Bay, makes the stop. He came to the Jets a year. They traded into Tampa Bay for a 7th-round pick, and Tampa Bay is very happy about that trade.
You know, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Kurt, that this was like watching an inter-squad game. There we see Ricky Bell, number 42, the great back from Southern California, of course. But both teams are very similar. They use the I formation a great deal, and the tailback will carry the ball 95% of the time for Philadelphia also, just like Tampa Bay tailback does for them.
Second down, 7. There goes Montgomery, 45. He has a first down as he crosses the 40 and is spilled at the 39 of Tampa Bay by the left cornerback, Jarris White. And you saw his slashing type of running, starting wide and slashing back. Number 6 pick, and how he's paid off here. Look at those figures. Over 1,500 yards, 4.5 average for him. 14 touchdowns. Most since, remember Steve Van Buren, most since Van Buren when he scored 14 in 1947. First down for the Eagles in the Tampa Bay, 39. Back into that eye again. Jaworski will throw. Look at the time. It's tipped and it's incomplete. It was tipped by Wally Chambers, who might have thrown the half of the ball off just a shade.
Jaworski did not see Tripley. He was open from the very beginning, the tight end, but he did not see them. The fake to the tailback was not a good fake. The mesh between the quarterback and the tailback was not good. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, and then finally threw it a little bit too high. And there we see a late hit.
That was Cottney. Strong safety. Second down, 10. Carmichael's to the right. Charlie Smith to the left is the wide man. Jaworski with a pocket pass. They get to him. A flag is down. You may have a holding here on number 72, Wade Key. And surging in there was David Lewis from outside. A very strong, agile linebacker, David Lewis of USC.
They had a blitz on that time, and David Lewis was blitzing. Nobody picked him up. And for that reason, he had a good shot at the quarterback. And in conjunction with that, there's also a holding penalty on the play on the part of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, face mask.
Face mask.
Face mask called against the Eagles. That's probably the holding we saw behind the line of scrimmage. They have declined it. Now, wait a minute now. You may have... See what they're going to do here. Pointed to the Eagles. Campfield has come in, replacing Leroy Harris.
Face mask. Left tackle. Refuse. Illegal pass. Loss of down. Number 76. Illegal receiver. Accepted. Third down.
All right. There. Very rarely see that. They had 2 penalties on the same play. They refused the first one, accepted the second one, and lost the down on the illegal pass, which is a loss of a down. And the Eagles now have a 3rd down and 20 on Tampa Bay's 49-yard line. Slot left. Jaworski send his men out. And they get to the first man, slow him down, and he goes down the sideline, is bumped out of bounds. Billy Campfield, who ran one for 63 yards last week against the Bears.
And David Lewis, 57, was the one who came up again and made that tackle on the screen pass.
He's fired up, David Lewis. Both these teams have great linebackers. I'll say this in front of Bill Berge. It's remarkable. The Eagles have done as well without Berge in All-Pro, but they kept going. Both linebackers, sets of linebackers, are strong and quick. They can really pursue laterally. All right, here's the punt coming up. Max Reniger will do the kicking. He averaged 39.6. Danny Reese. Danny, I don't want a fair catch, Reese. 70 punt returns this year, only one fair catch. He hates a fair catch. He gets it away. And is coming to the near side and skipped into the end zone for a touchback. Well, Tampa Bay has the ball on their own 20-yard line with 2:24 to play in the first period. Tampa Bay, after an 80-yard drive, has the lead 7-0.
Imagine a computer in a television set. Developed by our scientists, this special-purpose computer takes the information sent through the airways, processes it, and makes critical adjustments that are needed, helping to create for the Sylvania Superset an optimum color picture with minimal adjustment. G. No, GTE.
For every part of your life, Nationwide.
At Nationwide Life Insurance, our agents know that when you're just starting out, you can't afford a lot. Yet you need thorough protection and something more. Life insurance capable of growing as your responsibilities grow to make sure every member of your family will always be properly protected. Nationwide Life Insurance plans for every part of your life.
Nationwide is on your side.
Coming next, the holiday edition of the CBS Sports Spectacular, the continuing story of an attempt to break the sound barrier. Salute to Kurt Thomas, the U.S. gymnastics team, world ice skating, country classic, celebrity bowling. Coming up next, CBS Sports Spectacular. Ricky Bell carried the ball 10 times on that first drive. He carried it 39 times, a club record 2 weeks ago against Kansas City.
They spent an awful lot of time running to the right. They're in double tight end offense again. And let's see if they start this drive by also running to the right.
Ricky Bell, Eckwood, there's Ricky Bell for his 11th carry. He stopped at the 22-yard line by Charlie Johnson, the nose tackle of the Eagles. It'll be 2nd down, 8 for Tampa Bay. 2 key plays in that opening drive, Hank, were passes to Jimmy Giles, who is one of 5 National Football League tight ends to lead his team in catches. Shirk led the Giants, Francis New England, Bass Cincinnati, and Coughlin Green Bay. I think they'll go a lot to Giles today.
Yes, they should, especially because of the fact that the Philadelphia team employs so much zone defense.
2nd down, 8. That's Morris Owens going in motion. He tries to flip that away, a little dump off, and right on him was Claude Humphrey, the veteran left end, who has played in 6 Pro Bowl games. It was attempted to, they're trying to get the ball to Jerry Eckwood. 3rd and 8. The play looked peculiar as he flipped it away.
Yeah, it looked like there was a mix-up of some kind on the play. They didn't look like they knew specifically what they were supposed to do, and for some reason or other, why he almost threw the ball right into the hands of Humphrey, who was making a good rush on the outside on the play.
Humphrey hated the 3-4 at Atlanta. Now he enjoys it at Philadelphia. I think he also enjoys Marion Campbell.
This is a passing formation for the Bucs.
3rd down, 8. 3-man rush. Throws it deep. Out there is Higgins. And it is no good. Higgins, the fastest man in the club, couldn't stay in bounds. Williams thought they should have had it. He was open over there as he was jammed against the sideline.
He made an inside-outside move, set up nicely, threw the ball beautifully, turned the right cornerback around totally, but he did not have both feet in bounds. It was close. He scraped that toe. It looked like there was a chance that he had it in, but they licked the right cornerback, Herman Edwards, on an inside-outside move.
Minute 33 remaining in the first period. Punt formation. Doing the kicking will be Tom Blanchard, who's also averaged 39.6. He's the only member of the Bucs who's 30 years old or older. They have a very young team. Low kick, bad. Wally Henry fields at 45. Up out to the 50 and steams into Tampa Bay territory to the Tampa Bay 47. Those low kicks can get you in coverage. You notice there was nobody down there to cover the punt. They didn't have the time. We have a minute 23 to go in the first period. It's Tampa Bay 7 and the Eagles nothing. Wait a minute, we have a flag. Let's see what happened. That's Carmichael coming on. So the kick must go or Carmichael wouldn't be in there.
Punt, number 51. Illegally downfield. It's refused.
Inside lineman was downfield for Tampa Bay, and that was Dana Nafziger. The Eagles refused the penalty, and we're going to be back here with a minute 23 to go in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay leading 7-0.
There are 2,000 miles on this river, and you know every twisting, turning one of them. But the one you know best is the one where the sun drops away and the shadows grow long. That's the one that finally takes you home. That's the one that ends with Miller time.
If you got the time.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
You know we got the beer.
America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
Hello? Look, give me 4. Tastes too good to hurry through. Hey, babe, how you doing there? When it's time to relax, what you stands clear?
Did you get one?
If you got the time, we got the beer.
All right.
Yeah.
Kurt, the last time they were in this situation, they threw a play-action pass, and Trefley was open, but he didn't see him. Whether they will do that on this situation, they're not in the same formation. It doesn't look like they will.
Well, they're scattered out now. They have a slot left. First down on the Tampa Bay 47. He came to a stop. Montgomery, they contain him. He had a mess up there. Harris started forward before, then wisely stopped and froze. He came to that 1 second stop, so there's no penalty. The line of scrimmage will still be the 47 of Tampa Bay. It's second down 10 for the Eagles.
It's obvious that Philadelphia has great respect for the linebackers because they're running a counterplay, hitting the fullback straight up the middle, and then tossing the ball to the outside of Montgomery to hold down and slow down the pursuit of the linebackers, but it hasn't been very effective so far.
You notice they've been running away from Leroy Selman, who's been voted the National Football League Defensive Player of the Year. They've been going right, not left. Selman's on the right side, the right end. Jaworski being chased, dumps it off to Harris. It's incomplete. Big pass rush by Leroy Selman. Abe Gibran, the defensive line coach, has seen a lot of them. He said he's never seen a better end, all-around end, than Leroy Selman for rushing a passer, for stopping the run, and for balance. He played his senior year at Oklahoma and was not knocked off his feet one time the entire season.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Really is.
Just incredible.
His little brother's not bad, and then his older brother, also an All-American, Lucius Selman, is the assistant coach at Oklahoma. He's watching this game down in Miami, and as soon as get ready for the Orange Bowl. Third down, 10. Jaworski looks the field over, guns it out, and threads it to Trefley, the tight end who has a first down on the 36-yard line. Here is an excellent tight end who led all the tight ends in the league, and the best average per catch, 18.5. Both Giles and Trefley, we said, are active and dangerous. They can get deep and block.
Yes, especially Giles. Giles is a faster of the two, but Trefley is a very dependable, steady. He plays 100% every time he plays. He comes into the stadium with 100% effort. He's that kind of a player.
There's the gun and the end of the first quarter in Tampa Bay Stadium. With the score, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7 and the Philadelphia Eagles nothing.
By trying harder to be faster, Avis came up with the Wizard of Avis.
Keep on trying, America. The effort is really everything. We keep on trying, America.
By trying harder, we introduce speed to the rent-a-car business.
At Amos, we don't give up. Trying.
43 miles a gallon, coming right up.
Flash your mileage extender? $19.95, right down the drain.
Here we go.
People do some crazy things to get better mileage. So Gulf would like to recommend a few that aren't so crazy. Like removing that extra weight, replacing a dirty air filter, maybe even correcting a small mistake.
Here's your problem, sir.
It's smart to get the most out of the gas you buy and the place you buy it.
Coming next, the holiday edition of the CBS Sports Spectacular features a continuing story of the attempt to break the sound barrier in a land vehicle, plus a salute to Kurt Thomas and the U.S. gymnastics team, and more. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
Kurt Gowdy and Hank Stram, Tampa Bay Stadium, second period. An 80-yard drive at the opening of the game by Tampa Bay is the difference now, 7-0. There's a total offense, a big edge for Tampa Bay. Both teams are best in the second period. The Eagles high-scoring period, the second period, and so has Tampa Bay. So we'll see what happens. Right now, Tampa Bay defending the Eagles. First down, that one is tipped. I'll tell you, Tampa Bay, that's Randy Crowder, the nose tackle. With a three-man rush, Tampa Bay's being very effective.
And Wally Chambers that time did a good job. You know, coming into this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came in with 40 sacks and 14 interceptions. Here you see the play-action pass. Not a very good mesh again between the quarterback and the tailback. But there you see Wally Chambers, number 60, leaping high, deflecting the ball, and makes it fall incomplete.
Second down 10. This has been the Eagles' deepest penetration of the game. The Tampa Bay 36, I should say.
Passing formation for Philadelphia.
Jaworski whips it out to the short man, Montgomery. He's ridden down at the 30-yard line of Tampa Bay by Dewey Selman, who calls the defensive signals for the Buccaneers. Montgomery's excellent coming out of the backfield, the way a gifted all-around back should be. In fact, he led the entire National Football League in total yardage this year in running and catching the ball. He ran for 2,012 yards, rushing, receiving, kickoffs. Terry Metcalf, when he was with the Cardinals, held the record over 2,400 yards. On the 30-yard line, 3rd and 4. Jaworski again, under the gun. Bad pass to Campfield, and a big rush there by David Lewis, blitzing from the outside left. Tremendous rush they're getting on Jaworski.
That time they sent the backs away from Lewis, and Lewis blitzed. There was nobody there to check him, to block him. He put a lot of pressure on Jaworski. For that reason, he had to throw an errant pass, and it fell incomplete.
First period, Tampa Bay had 6 first downs. The Eagles 3, 58 yards rushing to 12. All right, here's Tony Franklin. He kicked a 59-yard field goal against Dallas. In one game, he kicked 2 over 60 in college. One of the strongest legs to arrive in the league in a long time.
I watched him before the game. He gets the ball off in 1-3 and 1/4 seconds.
Fake. A fake, and they run for the first down. John Shira, an ex-quarterback at UCLA. They gamble, or they don't really gamble. They had a 47-yard field goal coming up, but Shira picks the ball up. They had a hole open over right tackle. He runs for it, and now we may have a flag down, a discussion going on. Play is being brought back.
Offense. Delay. 4th down.
They took too much time. Illegal delay. So they penalize them. 5 yards to the 35 of Tampa Bay. Makes it 4th down, 9. Now, what will the maneuver be? Carmichael's back in. Now they're still lining up. With Shira, the hole now in the 42. This would be a 52-yard attempt by Tony Franklin, who's hit 23 out of 31. He kicks this one, and this one is low. Low into the left. He didn't get it up there. So the illegal delay penalty hurt the Eagles because on the fake field goal, they had gone for the first down.
You know, that time it looked like Franklin hurried himself a little bit. That time, usually you like for the kicker to take one in 3/10 seconds. He got it away in 1-1 that time, Kurt, which is pretty fast.
There's the score, 7-0 Tampa Bay.
Look what's happened to home heating and air conditioning costs. Up and up. Up over 80% in 5 years. But there's a way you can fight back in your attic. Add another layer of pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Ask your dealer or contractor how much more you need. Fight back against rising fuel costs. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
We'd like you to meet some of the family, the Browns and Eckerts, who each have 4 Pintos, the Schluters and Kniebels, who each have 9, and the Bowers, who have 10. We'd like to think Pinto's great mileage had something to do with this. After all, Americans have always had a nose for value. That's just 36 of over 2.5 million Ford Pintos sold in the past 10 years. More than any other small car in America. Smile, everyone. Why don't you join the family?
Can your secretary go through your files this fast? Can your secretary type your letters this fast? Or send your mail this fast? Now your secretary can with the IBM Office System 6. It's that fast.
Drive following the opening kickoff by Tampa Bay. Ricky Bell going 4 yards for the score has been it so far with 13:49 to go in the first half.
They've been running right a great deal.
Time to go left. Trying to get Eckwood outside. He does turn the corner. He picks up 6 yards, maybe 7. We'll see where they spot him out of bounds. The leading ball carrier in the game has been Ricky Bell with 46 yards. Wilbert Montgomery has been held to 7 yards on 4 carries, which is one of the keys in the game. Herman Edwards made that last tackle, the right cornerback. Put it on the 43-yard line. An 8-yard gain by Eckwood, who now is showing some of his early season form.
Yes, and that was the first time they put the ball in play on 1st and 10 without their double tight end offense. Now they're using their regular flanker split-in situation on 2nd down.
2nd down, 2. Tampa Bay 43. Oh, what a hole there at the 50. Still going 45 at the 40. We have a flag drop behind the line of scrimmage. A penalty marker down. Ricky Bell raced for the first down, but this could be wiped out. They had the hole, and then Bell showed you how to go to work in the secondary.
Yes, on that play, they like to double team the man on the nose and pull the right guard around. That time they did pull Greg Roberts around into the hole. It popped open beautifully, but there's a penalty on the play.
I'm sure this is a holding call.
Offense, number 50, holding.
That's on the center, Steve Wilson. Wilson has a job to do. They're trying to contain Charlie Johnson. Tie him up so Jerry Robinson, a very fleet rookie linebacker, can have the flow of freedom up and down. He was deadly against the Chicago Bears, sideline to sideline. Now that center Wilson is trying to tie up the nose tackle Charlie Johnson. Now it is 2nd down, 12. And Tampa Bay's own 33. Play action pass. He shoots it down the middle. He completes it at the 50, 45 to the 40. 35 and down at the 33-yard line. Larry Mucker, who started the last 3 games, but didn't catch a pass for Tampa Bay.
A nice-looking play-action pass. Sets up nicely in the pocket. Hits Larry Mucker coming across the middle. He picks up, makes the catch, makes a good move to the inside, and is finally tackled there by John Shira, number 21.
That play covered 34 yards. Dennis Harrison is coming in. Carl Harrison, Dennis Harrison. Harrison goes out. Doug Williams has all day. He can have a cup of coffee and a sandwich back there. He's only sacked 13 times Football League. The pitch for Ricky Bell. Bell hammers inside the 30. Stopped at the 28 of the Eagles by Dennis Harrison and Claude Humphrey.
You know, that play is designed to get outside if you can, but any time from the I formation that you see any kind of a seam inside, like he saw, you better take advantage of it. This is one thing that Ricky Bell does so well. He takes advantage of what he sees. He did a good job that time and picked up 5 yards on the play.
Eckwood's in, and Ricky Bell came out. Second down, 5. 28-yard line of the Eagles. Jerry Eckwood. And a power blast off guard, but Charlie Johnson says no, sir. Number 65 jammed it up at the 27-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles, where it's 3rd down and 4. The score, 7-0 Tampa Bay. 11:37 to go in the first half. Defensive football is playoff qualifying football. All the top 5 defensive teams in the National Conference, 4 of the top 5 in the AFC made the playoffs. Now they got 5 men up front, the Eagles. 3rd down, 4. 25, and suddenly spilled Johnny Davis. Get him in there for first downs and down around the goal line. Jerry Eckwood. Jerry Robinson made the hit on him. They've been sealing Robinson off so far. LeMaster has made more tackles than Robinson. It's on the 23. They look to the sidelines and call for a measurement. Tampa Bay's had the ball the majority of the time. The ball control offense. And they're short. All right, it's 4th down and a foot to go. Twice they've had this situation, and twice Doug Williams has used the quarterback sneak to pick up a vital first down.
That's another basic rule of thumb again, Kurt. I think any time that it's very short, you like for the quarterback just to be able to handle the ball himself and run a quarterback sneak, especially if there's any kind of a seam or the linebacker is halfway soft. You're going to run at the linebacker, run to that area. Let's see if he runs another quarterback sneak in this situation.
Eckwood and Ricky Bell behind Doug Williams. Eagles ganged up.
He's got a lot of room.
4th down in the foot. There he goes for the first down to the 20-yard line. Ricky Bell has it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are executing on 4th and short.
They're executing as far as the offensive line is concerned. Boy, they're really getting off the ball in good shape, and that's why they're able to succeed in making the kind of yardage they have made so far from a running standpoint.
The only team of the top 10 defensive teams in the National Football League that didn't make the playoffs were the New England Patriots. All the rest of them are in there, and you know why coaches go for defense. First down, Tampa Bay on Philadelphia's 20. Here's that pitch coming out again. Being contained and a loss this time. Reggie Wilkes, the right linebacker, just stood his ground, then crossed the line of scrimmage and nailed Ricky Bell. There's a flag down again. That is a clipping against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's had the most penalties. Reggie's going to medical school, by the way, a graduate of Georgia Tech. The Eagles accept this penalty. It'll take the ball back to the 37 of the Eagles. This will be the 4th penalty against Tampa Bay. The Eagles have had only 2.
Number 69, personal foul, clipping.
That's on Darrell Austin, a reserve right tackle for clipping. They have to go to the 14. First down and long. They have to go to the 9s where they have to go. Williams in a deep drop. Wide open at the 20, to the 15. Isaac Hagan. Who says Doug Williams is a low percentage passer? Boy, he is on target today.
He's really firing the ball. Watch, they send the flanker, Isaac Hagan's, in motion to the right, which makes it a triple wing formation. A lot of time to throw. He cuts back into the middle area. The ball is thrown perfectly right at the numbers. Hagan does a good job of getting the very most he can out of the play, and it's a good field position situation for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You just couldn't play a better first half at quarterback than this young man's doing here, Doug Williams. Only 40% completions, but John McKay says, I don't like those little 5-yard passes. Give me the big play. Second down. 2 to go for a first down. Ricky Bell in motion. Jerry Eckwood following Bell. Flag is down, and he stopped along the 10-yard line. Another flag has been dropped. Dick Vermeil has no USC players on his team. McKay has no UCLA players in his squad. Vermeil has 4 ex-UCLA players off his Rose Bowl team, and he beat Woody Hayes in Ohio State.
And of course, Johnny McKay has 6 ex-USC players in his team.
This is against Tampa Bay. Time remaining in the first half, 8 minutes, 46 seconds. 7-0. Tampa Bay in the lead on an 80-yard drive after the opening kickoff.
Offense, number 89, holding.
That's holding called. Well, an 89, but there's no 89 on the field. Could be one of the tight ends. Well, this puts the ball back to the 21. That makes it now second down and 12. Second and 12 for Tampa Bay from the Eagles 21. Ricky Bell trying to get outside. The Eagles are on him now. Reggie Wilkes again contains him. Reggie Wilkes. Time is called. An Eagle player is down.
Yeah, that's
Play lost 2. It'll be third down and 14.
That's the nice thing about the I formation is the fact that you can start up the middle like he did and still wind up going outside on the play.
We'll return with Tampa Bay leading 7-0.
This Mustang Turbo performs like that $15,000 Porsche.
Really, Jackie? Let's take a little ride.
Come on, young man.
Dramatizing independent tests, Jackie Stewart and Rick Mears show how Mustang Turbo with TRX tires matched Porsche 924. Matched it in acceleration, in cornering, in steering response, in braking. Matched it in 25 of 29 test categories. Ford Mustang, a sports car for the 80s.
It's the super season of better ideas at your Ford dealers now.
Ring in the holidays. Ring out the year. Sparkling with Andre. Love and good cheer. Take Andre home for the holidays. Andre for the holidays.
What's a celebration without Andre champagne to lend sparkle and elegance to your good times? Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre.
For the holidays and all year long.
We have a hand going off is Carl Hairston, the defensive right end. Dick Vermeil right out there. Concerned about his players always. One of the big questions that Vermeil has been asked is about his workaholism. He's supposed to spend 4 nights in his office, spends all night there, and hey, that's just me. Why do you fellas care if I work hard? It's my business. He's a worker. Born in the upper Napa Valley in California. John McKay right there, West Virginia coal field. Third down and 14 as we return to play here at sun-drenched Tampa Stadium. Look at the time of possession. Triple for Tampa Bay. They have really controlled the ball here in the first half, and that's been their best defense. They're ahead 7-0. Third down and 12. Williams getting the protection there. tight end. Jimmy Giles catching his third pass of the game. Right on him. Jimmy Giles feeding into the end zone. They had a double zone coverage. So what do? They doubled up on the wide men and sent Giles right down the middle.
Yes, that's an automatic play of the tight end. Look at the time and the protection, but he read it perfectly, got it right over the top to Jimmy Giles, number 88, and it's a touchdown for...
Wait a minute now. Somebody dropped a flag down there that we didn't see, and no one else did. We're talking it over. This will be a big break for the Eagles if this is wiped out. Now he says that Giles did not have possession of the ball. One man came up with the arms. He did not have possession and control, so it's an incomplete pass, and they're going to try a 40-yard field goal. Neil O'Donoghue. The kick is up. The kick is good. Well, they still came up with some points. Juggling, not controlled by Jimmy Giles. Let's watch it here.
Take a look at it. He's looking John Shira on the play.
I don't know
how you could call that an incomplete forward pass. I really don't.
10-0 Tampa Bay.
You dance on a river of wood, and the spinning shapes in the cold, dark water are your only bridge home. So you keep on dancing until the last log is in place and you can head for Miller time. Time for the best-tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, we've got the beer, Miller beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Thunderbird. Thunderbird.
Spread your wings in the new 1980 Thunderbird. Introducing a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. Outside, inside. Yet it's remarkably priced. And that includes automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, vinyl roof, and more. The new size Thunderbird. A better idea for the 80s.
We'll be there Super Sunday 1980. Be with the NFL team of CBS Sports Sunday, January 20th for Super Bowl 14. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
10-0 Tampa Bay. Neither team has allowed a return off a kick for a touchdown this year. O'Donoghue's boot. Wally Henry on the 4, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Flag is down. And he's up to the 28. Another flag goes down. And the second quarter is being marred by penalty flags. Tampa Bay has hurt themselves with penalties. They might have a bigger lead here. They've had 5 penalties for 60 yards. The Eagles have had only 2 penalties for 15 yards.
Looks like one penalty is against Ray Phillips, 52, who looked like he might have clipped on the play.
There's holding, illegal use of the hands against the Eagles on the kickoff return. Well, there's going to be a lot of discussion on that incomplete pass call to Jimmy Giles. We have the advantage of time, and the instant replay looked like a touchdown to us.
Yeah, I don't know how in the world, from the way we look at it, how that could not be a touchdown pass. And he runs for 2 steps before he runs out of the end zone.
Holding.
Rule is that the player must have the ball.
Personal foul. Clipping.
In possession and control to do the act common to a football game. Yeah, he had a couple, 3 steps running to the back of the end zone with it. But, as we say, we have the advantage of time, later time, and a slow motion rerun. First down, Eagles on their own 10. They have been soundly dominated by Tampa Bay in this first half. 36-yard line of Tampa Bay has been their deepest penetration. That's Montgomery, who is racked up by Leroy Selman.
It's very easy to understand why this team is number 1 in all categories defensively. They're first in total defense, first against the run, and first against the pass. Well, that's very impressive.
John McKay says, you know, when I feel good, when I watch Leroy Selman on the films, I feel real good that he's on my team. Second down 10 for the Eagles. They have not threatened in the first half. They were 4-point favorite. They're going to have to do something to open up this Tampa Bay defense in the second half, or in the latter part of the first half. There's double draw. Montgomery fumbles. A scramble. And Tampa Bay recovers. Randy Crowder's on it there. The recovery, the hit. Montgomery fumbles. He fumbled more than any other back this year in the National Football League.
Here's a plain, very simple draw play. If they did not block,
Crowder hit him.
Randy Crowder was not blocked on the play. The ball is fumbled, and looks like Randy Crowder falls on the ball.
I think it's Chambers, but we'll see. They force the first turnover in the game right after they kick the field goal. They're right back again. Tampa Bay has a first down and 4 to go for a touchdown. A young squad, its first playoff game ever, is playing almost a perfect, inspired first half on both offense and defense. First and goal.
Let's see if they run right here.
They do. That's Ricky Bell. Bell driving forward to the 2 or maybe the 1.5-yard line. Dennis Harrison tackling. There's Carl Harrison, who's been injured. Nice packs on his right knee. Second down, 2 to go for a Tampa Bay touchdown. And they have been awesome in this first half. They've had the ball over 3 times as many minutes as Philadelphia. Second down, 2 to go. For a touchdown. Doug Williams rolls out, throws, it's no good. That was Humphrey who put the force on him and messed that play up. Claude Humphrey, 35-year-old veteran. Didn't fool him any.
No, he really read the play very well. There was a quick fake to the back going inside, roll out to the right. But Humphrey got good penetration and put the squeeze on him and threw him to the turf, 3rd and 2.
Larry Mucker brings the play in from the bench. They alternate the wide receivers. Eckwood and Ricky Bell will be lined up behind Doug Williams. 3rd down, 2 to go for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Eckwood peels off. Ricky Bell stopped. Bell is stopped at the half-yard line by Ken Clark, the nose tackle from Syracuse. And the crowd, of course, yelling, "Go, go." Well, they've tried it 3 times on 4th down and a foot to go and made it. A little bit different down around that goal line. Morris Owens brings the play on. 4th down, a foot to go for a Tampa Bay touchdown. 5:42 in the first half remaining. 5:40 now. 10-0 Tampa Bay.
There's a big hole on that last play, but Clark really recovered from his block and did a super job of making the tackle.
That's Bell, and he's over. Ricky Bell has his second touchdown. Ricky Bell sends them out in front 16-0. The way they're playing, they look like Super Bowl champs.
Very simple. Straight ahead play with the right guard Roberts pulling on the play. They get a seam. He takes advantage of it, pops right through there for the touchdown. And that's blocking at the point of attack by Darryl Carlton, the right tackle.
That Greg Roberts is a story, Henry. We'll talk about him later. Here's O'Donoghue for the extra point. He took 30 out of 35 in the regular season. This one's up, and it is good. And the young expansion Tampa Bay Buccaneers are leading the favored Philadelphia Eagles 17-0 with 5:24 to play in the first half.
What's that there, pal?
Oh, Harry, it's Stanley garage door opener. I'm going to do it myself.
You?
The Stanley garage door opener is made to install yourself. Everything is in the box.
Need any help, pal?
Nope. The directions are clear and simple, and it only takes about 4 hours.
Are you sure you don't need any help?
The do-it-yourself garage door opener from Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
We want to help you do things right.
Not bad, pal.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
Life of Georgia has millions of futures to protect. And one way we do this is with solid investments. In a hydroelectric plant in Quebec, a helicopter company in Oregon, energy research in Wyoming, a university medical complex in Alabama, the city of Atlanta, and many others. We're Life of Georgia. We're one of the largest life insurance companies in the United States, and we're working to ensure your future.
After that aroused Tampa Bay defense forced a fumble, Ricky Bell took it over. Tampa Bay leads 17-0. They'll kick off, and the Eagles have to do something now to break matters open. Wally Henry in the goal line. Out to the 10, 15, 20. And up to the 25-yard line of the Eagles. Tomorrow on CBS, well, the NFL today at 3:30 p.m., followed by the Cowboys and the Rams from Dallas. And remember, CBS Sports will provide exclusive coverage of Super Bowl 14 on January 20th. 106,000 banked in the famed Rose Bowl at Pasadena, California. First down. Eagles. What can they do, Henry?
Well, the one thing they have to do, they got to be careful they don't make another bad mistake and give them another opportunity to get good field position and get more points on the scoreboard. They just got to settle down and do what they thought they could do going into the game and just execute.
Jaworski had time then. He's out to Montgomery. Montgomery spun out of bounds on the 31 of the Eagles by Cecil Johnson, the right linebacker. He picked up 6. Second down, 4 for Philadelphia.
And the other thing they can't do, Kurt, they can't try to get it all back too soon. They have to take advantage of what they see and what they get, move the ball down the field patiently. But I think it's very important for them to generate some kind of an offense on this drive and get some points before they go to halftime.
Comparison between Montgomery, 1 net yard. Ricky Bell is 56 yards. Bell's had more help. Second down, 4. The Eagles on their 30-yard. And they're running right up the middle and don't get much. They're short of their 35. Cecil Johnson making the hit. So now Leroy Harris goes back in that huddle after the short gain. It's on the 34-yard line of the Eagles. Montgomery's going out. Spagnola comes in, the double tight end offense. Third down. Long yard to go. And the Eagles have called time. They're messed up there. They got Larry Barnes in there with Harris in short yardage situation. Look at that score. 17-0 Tampa Bay. 4:24 to go in the first half.
The more aerodynamic shape a vehicle has, the easier it slips through the air. Announcing the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford. It's aerodynamically designed so it's more slippery than last year, has less drag, with the best gas mileage rating of any American-built standard pickup. And there's all that Ford-built toughness. Ford's most popular half-ton pickup can carry 293 pounds more payload than a comparable Chevrolet.
It's the super season of better ideas at your Ford dealers now.
And that's the news. We'll have the weather, sports, and today's stuff.
Arthritis hurts. Even getting dressed can be a painful experience. But one prescription drug, which gives some people relief from this pain, comes from a chemical that's made by my employer, the Phillips Petroleum Company. I like that. It's good to know your company's work helps people. And I take the drug myself. It's what helps me get to work some days.
Phillips Petroleum. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
Monday at 2:30 Eastern, see the Clemson Tigers and Baylor Bears claw for the crown of the Peach Bowl. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Kurt Gowdy, Hank Stram, Tampa Bay Stadium. The Eagles have the ball. They're trailing 17-0. They're on their own 34, and they have third and a long yard, maybe 2, yard and a half. They have Larry Barnes and Leroy Harris and his running backs. Harris in motion. And Montgomery's back in, slips and falls down, and they won't have any first down. Montgomery's having a tough first half. Look at the stats. Passing, Jaworski short one, 5 out of 9. Doug Williams for 94 yards, 4 out of 9. And he had a touchdown call back that'll be disputed by many. Punt formation. I think you can look for anything here from the Eagles. They might even try a fake punt. I don't know. They're going to have to do something. 4th down, 2 yards to go.
I don't think we'll see anything but a punt here, Kurt.
Kicks to Danny Reese. Reese on his 17, the 20, 25. Up to the 30-yard line. And the tackle by Reggie Wilkes. The Cotton Bowl, Houston versus Nebraska, New Year's Day, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Houston ranked 6th, Nebraska ranked 8th. Old buddy Lindsey Nelson will be there his 20th year in a row. Telecast the Cotton Bowl game. He and I were both there one day. I was doing the radio, the famous 12th man tackle by Tommy Lewis on Dickie Megalow. First down, Tampa Bay on their own 20. They're ahead, 17-0.
They're back to their double tight end offense.
Ricky Bell has a yard, and that's all, maybe a yard and a half. Outside of some penalties, Tampa Bay has not given the ball up, not thrown an interception, not fumbled it. They have just played this man's dream first half. McKay played it the way he wanted him to play.
Yes, and he's doing a good job of changing the pace and the tempo of the offensive calls. John calls him himself from the sideline, and really has done a good job.
You and he were at Purdue together, weren't you? Coaching staff?
We played together. Played together at Purdue along with Abe Giblin.
Outside is Bell, and he's run out of bounds by Frank LeMaster. They've stayed on the ground most of the way. Every now and then they fade back by Williams. He hits a pass, and they've dominated the clock. They're on their own 32-yard line now. They have a 3rd down, 8. Look at that. Total offense. 29 yards for the Eagles. Would you believe that? Tampa Bay for 176. Although you're looking at the best defensive statistics in the league here in this Tampa Bay club. 3rd and 8. 32-yard line of Tampa Bay. Don't go to the air. Flag is down. Ricky Bell drives all the way to the 40. He would appear to have a first down, but there's a penalty marker drop. Worst to first, that's right. Longest losing streak, a joke around the nation. And now they say number 1. This is going against Tampa Bay. This game marks the old and the new, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to this.
Offense, right end, offside, 88.
Jimmy Giles offside. That'll put the ball back on the 27. Make it 3rd and 12. Philadelphia began play in the National Football League in 1933, while the BUCS got underway in 1976. The old and the new. 2-minute warning here in Tampa Bay. 17-0 Buccaneers.
I'm a mileage nut. I checked all the figures, and I got a Ford Fairmont. Yeah, 4-cylinder mileage is even higher than last year's. And do they have a 6-cylinder with standard 4-speed transmission? No 6, foreign or domestic, beats Fairmont's estimated MPG. Datsun's 4-speed doesn't beat it. Toyota doesn't beat it. Citation, the GMX cars don't beat it.
Harold! Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont?
You bet your gas can.
The right idea for today.
Nancy Hamilton will cross our path 8 times today. We're S-Mark. We own the companies that supply her peanut butter and turkeys, rubber gloves, and baby nursers, fertilizer, oil filters and motor oil, gas gasoline. We're S-Mark, a big company with a big stake in Nancy Hamilton and in you.
2 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd down and 12. Tampa Bay on their own 27-yard line. John McKay said yesterday, we're going to play a great game. Vermeil hopes his club would too, but they haven't in the first half. Doug Williams right down the middle, overthrows a receiver, and another flag drop. That's over the head of Morris Owens, number 85, a wide receiver. Frank LeMaster putting the pressure on Doug Williams. Now let's see what this penalty is about. This may be against the Eagles.
Defense, number 55. Pass interference.
Pass interference on Frank LeMaster, an automatic first down. On the drop back, he interfered with the receiver going down. Owens. So Tampa Bay has the ball on their 35-yard line with a first down and a lead of 17-0, less than 2 minutes to go in the half. They're trying to get more. They threw that one high. It's intercepted. They made a costly mistake there. Coming back with the ball, Jerry Robinson. He can run. He's at the 30, 25. He's at the 20. And there's the break the Eagles have been looking for. Fumbled the ball, but I believe the whistle was already blown and went out of bounds. McKay should be mad. They had that lead, and they made a bad mistake in their own territory.
Yeah, play-action pass again. He's a little nervous, but he throws the ball a little bit behind Eckwood. It ricochets, tipping drill. Robinson does a good job of running. He's got good speed. And I talked to Vermeil several weeks ago, and he said in every game that this young player has played, he's made a big play. And here he is with another big play in this big game for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Henry, he was recruited by Vermeil himself as a wide receiver at UCLA. Well, he had the speed all along. Now the Eagles have their first scoring chance of the game. This could turn their frame of mind around if they could score here and go into the locker room at halftime. They've been soundly beaten in every department so far. First down on the 11 of Tampa Bay. Jaworski throws, and that is out of bounds with a double coverage on the receiver. Charlie Smith, he just threw it away. 2nd down, 10 for the Eagles. Selman was rushing Jaworski. 2nd down, 10 to go. Philadelphia on the Tampa 11. That was the first turnover in the game for Tampa Bay. Outside of the penalties on them, they have played almost a perfect first half. No mistakes, great execution. 2nd down, 10.
And run on the left side, which is what you like to see.
They haven't gone to Carmichael yet. They still don't have a touchdown, though. Into the end zone. Charlie Smith takes it for the score. And so Tampa Bay takes advantage of a bad Tampa Bay mistake in the last 2 minutes of the half and scores.
You know, unusual because Carmichael had bump and run on the left side. You like to throw the ball to him in that situation, but they were soft on the right side, meaning that the defensive back was playing deep on the play. Jarris White, he ran a quick slant pass on the inside of him, got it to him perfectly. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
That should give Philadelphia a big lift. Lift is up, and it is good. 1 minute, 28 seconds left in the first half. And the Eagles get their first score. They just had their first scoring opportunity on the intercepted pass by Jerry Robinson. All right, Coach, you go into the locker room now. You just scored. How much does this help you?
Oh, it's a tremendous help. It really is a tremendous help because it gives you a little bit of confidence in what you came into the game with the anticipation of doing. The picture of this game really has been domination. That's all that's happened, really. They haven't had a chance to have possession of the ball very many times, and that's really been the difference in the game. Total domination, time-wise and artistically, by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tonight on CBS, don't miss a star-studded spectacular. The Kennedy Center honors a celebration of the performing arts. Join Hollywood's greatest stars in a tribute to Aaron Copland, Ella Fitzgerald, Henry Fonda, Martha Graham, and Tennessee Williams tonight at 8 Eastern Time on CBS. Franklin will kick off. Higgins is deep, the wide receiver. It's a short kick. They want Higgins to take it. He does on the 13. He's up to the 20, 25, and down he goes on his 28-yard line. And the Eagles had good kick coverage. Now they're 1:23 to play. And I bet you McKay said, don't give that ball up again now in our own territory this late. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today. Brent, Jane, Irv, and Jimmy will be with you at halftime. The 27 where they're going to spot it. Tampa Bay's ball. We'll have a live report from Dallas, by the way, on tomorrow's game between the Cowboys and the Rams. 17-7. Tampa Bay leading. Simple handoff into the line for a couple yards to Ricky Bell, who's been a busy boy here in the first half. Ricky Bell now has carried the ball 21 times in the first half. He set the club record 39 times against Kansas City, which wasn't very far away from a league record. The Eagles call time to stop the clock with 1:09 to go in the half. They have one left. Home cooking can do wonders for a playoff team. During this last decade, the home team in the playoffs won better than 68% of the time. The home field advantage worked for both wild card winners last week, both Houston and Philadelphia winning in their own parks. Wild card teams going all the way have been rare. This man next to me, though, did it with the Kansas City Chiefs. Wild card team went all the way to the Super Bowl and beat the Vikings in Super Bowl IV. Your big one was in New York, down the 1-yard line when Joe Namath and the Jets had 1st and goal to go, and you held them.
Oh, that was a great play by Bobby Bell, who came up and blitzed on the play, and that saved us.
Thank you, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for the welcome to CBS. 2nd down, 8. Tampa Bay on their 30-yard line. They're ahead 17-7. Ricky Bell again, roaring out. Still going at the 40, up to his 45-yard line. The clock keeps moving with 1 minute to go in the half. Bell has been by far the outstanding runner of this game. Randy Logan, the strong safety, made the hit on him. 1st down, Tampa Bay. We're down to 54 seconds and a timeout called on Tampa Bay. Now they want the clock stopped.
He's going to have to change shoes at halftime. I'm sure he's worn out a pair already as many times as he's carried the football in the first half, Kurt.
You know, scanning through the program, Hank, they had miracle finishes in the playoffs. Now they went back to 6 games. You figured in one of them, that was the Christmas Day game, the longest game ever played. They had the overtime game, Green Bay and Baltimore. The overtime game, the Giants in Baltimore. They had the famous 28-26 game, the wobbly pass to Clarence Davis. They call that the greatest of them all. I disagree. I still think the game that you lost on Christmas Day was the greatest pro game ever played.
I would agree with you. Had we won the game, I would have thought, too, it was the greatest game.
Bad ball game, huh? 1st down, Tampa Bay on their own 45. 54 seconds to go in the first half. Larry Mucker in motion. They give it to Jerry Eckwood, and he is snowed under back on the 40-yard line. And it can snow in Tampa Bay with white uniforms. Well, they lost 5. It'll be 2nd down now, 15. And Tampa Bay slowly huddling. 17-7. Buccaneers, they scored. They took the opening kickoff, roared 80 yards with it in 18 plays, a time-consuming drive. Ricky Bell going over. They came back on a field goal after a disputed pass for a touchdown was wiped out. And then they came right back, forced a fumble on the 4-yard line of the Eagles and took it in. Ricky Bell scoring again. 42-yard line. Ricky Bell with another carry. And now there's the gun, and that's the end of the first half. Tampa Bay making one costly mistake outside of that, almost a perfect first half, as they lead the Philadelphia Eagles at halftime, 17-7.
Winners don't have time to wait, so they rent from Hertz. Nobody can get you into your Fairmont, LTD, or other fine car faster than number one. With the Hertz number one club, you just show your credit card, your license, sign, and go. No wonder the presidents of over 80% of America's top 500 companies carry Hertz cards.
Hiya, Juice.
Hey, Jimmy Connors. Hertz, where the winners rent.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
How you holding up? I'm all right. You want to go for 10 miles? If you make it, I'll buy you a beer. If we make it, I'll buy you a Lone Brow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
This is the Kmart 672, Kmart's best car battery. Like another leading premium battery, the 672 is calcium lead constructed. Like one other premium battery, it's truly maintenance-free, completely sealed so you never add water. But the 672 has one other feature you'll find only in Kmart automotive products. The 672, Kmart's best battery, is Kmart priced.
Back live in Tampa, 17-7. The Bucks over the Eagles right now. And from our vantage point in the end zone, there should be 21 points up there for Tampa Bay. That certainly appeared to be a touchdown to us down here. A couple of other observations. I think any of the 4 teams in the AFC could beat the NFC teams if they're going to play this way. But, Herb, what about the Eagles? This is the second straight week they've turned in a bad first half.
Well, you know, I think the Tampa Bay team must have learned something in watching the Bear film. Remember in the second half last week when Walter Payton broke off for a long run. Tampa Bay is doing a similar kind of thing now to that 3-4 defense. The Eagles have usually done a good job containing, but Ricky Bell's been able to break outside. They have to keep him in the pocket.
All right, Jimmy, speaking of the AFC, coming up later in San Diego, it's Houston and San Diego. We're going to roll your board up right now. And again, what about the injury situation for the Oilers?
Well, early this morning, I was told that Pastorini would not play, that Campbell would decide at game time whether he would play or not. Burrows is not entirely ready to go, but he will play, and Carpenter is very questionable also. So that means Houston is hurt, and all they've got left is a kicking game.
And you think San Diego may be able to score at will? That's a pretty tough defense that Biles and Bum have put together down there.
Well, they won't score at will. They will win the ball game, but they will not score at will. Houston's defense is still tough, but their offense is shot, let's face it.
Jimmy, I'm going to come back and talk to you about the Pittsburgh-Miami game, but of course the second game of the doubleheader tomorrow, the Dallas Cowboys host the Los Angeles Rams. Earlier this year, Cowboys hammered the Rams in Dallas 36. Ben Scully and George Allen will be calling that action. Let's go live now to Dallas and Ben Scully.
Thank you, Brent. And we're far from the madding crowd here where the NFL Today will come from tomorrow, where Dick Stockton will host the CBS Sports Spec here right after. But, George, first of all, on my left is a fellow who is about ready to set a record. He's going to tie Jethro Pugh. Larry Cole will play in his 23rd playoff game.